Heyo, Chef Corso, Monty Boca, and I'm here to put you on the path for great meals for any outdoor adventure. And I'm planning a trip to the Redwoods National Park, and here's my process for planning, for meal planning, and my whole trip report as I head up there. So I've already got my notes written down for some pre-research for my trip. I put together a handy planning PDF to really help with this process, because there's kind of a lot of little things that you just need to put all in one spot. So looks a little bit like this, so check it out at montyboca.com. We're going to the Redwoods National Park, and the early research that I found on this is something that I learned really early on for the Redwoods. The Redwoods National Park and multiple California state parks, and they're pushed together, they're managed together, but their reservation systems are different. So really important to do your research on where you want to stay, where you want to go, and make sure you get the right permit for a backcountry campsite or a car camping campsite, because it's not all under one roof. So note that. We'll put some links below so you can reference those, but that's step number one, is you need to piece the Redwoods together rather than just going inside, getting your backcountry campsites for 4 nights and just headed out there. But we're going to the Redwoods. Who's going? I'm going by myself, so that's really good to note. How far? You know, from the early research, I don't think this is going to be a crusher of a trip, maybe 5 to 10 miles, but probably piecing together a few different day hikes to get there, but I'm not really quite sure yet, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. Permits and reservations. So I did get a car camping campsite at Elk Ridge. It's kind of right in the middle of the north and south sections, and I'm hoping it's good. It looks pretty solid. And I did get a reservation for some backcountry camping. Redwoods doesn't have a whole lot of backcountry camping. It's not super deep. The whole park system, if you're looking at some maps, is very much north and south rather than east and west. There is some, but it's pretty minimal. So I'm excited to see what that looks like and what that feels like as compared to super deep backcountry 2 to 3 days in. Maps, again, you've got your national park and your state park maps, so make sure you print those out, get copies of those. Two main factors that I'm concerned about for this trip is weather. I really don't want to get stuck in a whole lot of rain, but I am preparing for that, so making sure I have my rain gear, make sure I maybe have a tarp or a tent situation to be able to help out with not getting too wet. But the weather report's looking pretty good, and kind of why I'm going right now is to kind of get into a little bit of a pocket. Other main factor is darkness. It's flipping November, and it gets dark, and I don't care where you are, it gets dark early. So it's not like we can chill by the campfire until 7 or 8 o'clock at night with the beautiful twilight. It's gonna get dark, I don't know, between 5 and 6 o'clock. So just something to note as far as entertainment. What do you do when it gets dark? Also being safe if you are in the backcountry to be able to get to your backcountry campsite, or have enough light to be able to get there safely. So for me, what I eventually planned, I jotted down some notes as far as hikes go, potential camping spots, and the high points of the area looks like James Irvine Trail going into Fern Canyon, looks pretty interesting. Boy Scout Grove and Boy Scout Tree, Tall Tree Grove, Ladybird Grove, a bunch of these groves. It looks like a lot of these are really short day hikes, or even just hikes from a parking lot. Damnation Creek, Coastal Trail, Cathedral Tree Loop as well. So there's a lot of different options that I'm kind of just putting a star by. Once I get there, I'll really be able to plan out my days, just to see what my energy level is, how far I want to hike, and then how far the drive is from each one, because I'm not quite sure. I think it's about an hour or two from the north to the south, but I'm not quite sure. It's just about getting there. I was able to piece together 2 nights car camping and 2 nights backcountry. So staying at Elk Prairie for 2 nights, then going into the Redwoods Creek backcountry, and then got a looks like kind of a cool backcountry site at Flint Ridge, which is on a bluff somewhere, maybe overlooking the Pacific. I'm excited to see that as well. And as far as food goes, The interesting thing about planning for a car camping and backcountry trip is that you kind of need to do both, right? So I've got the cooler with some perishable items. So I've got some nice little quick grilling, quick cooking car camping recipes, plus some beer and some cold beverages, of course. And also I've got my backcountry items. So I'm planning for a tom yum noodle bowl and maybe a quick curry and rice dish. I'm excited about seeing these big trees. Follow along for the whole trip report because it's going to be fun to explore. Boca Boca. Day one was a delightful drive up 101. Last night, one of the great things about car camping is you can bring along a cooler so you can have a few more perishable items and extend the pantry. I was able to cook this last night. Really fast, easy car camping option. Italian sausage and peppers with some toasted garlic bread. Super quick and easy. Really, really yummy. The Redwoods National Park is a combination of California State Parks and National Park. There are a bunch of very well-maintained trails that you can kind of piece together to be able to get 5, 10, 15 miles in a day. You just gotta have to maybe drive around a little bit or connect a few of them. So that's what I'm gonna start to do today, is start the trails, see some really big trees, and just sort of explore this area. I think the weather should be pretty good. As you can see, the sun is hitting me on my face over a beautiful meadow here. I'm gonna get out there and start to explore. So follow along. Well, I'm hitting up the Scout Grove Trail. It's a nice, easy start. It's only about 0.5 miles, maybe 1.5. You can go a little bit farther, but it's one of the more famous ones in this area. So might as well hit it up. It's also really flat and accessible for a lot of folks out there. So pretty. So Scout Grove is not long of a trail, but don't discount it because you've got massive trees. It's so hard to share scale here. But let me tell you, they're big. And you gotta see them. Wow. You gotta see them because, wow, look at that. These, I have no idea how many years old these are, but many hundreds of years. This thing is massive. It's about 6 feet here. I don't know how far it's gonna go that way. We're gonna find out. Wow. Wow, and another one. Oh man, there's double fallen buddies. Wow. Awesome. Man, these things are huge. This thing is like 10, 12 feet high. Wow. Amazing light in the forest today too. Had quite a bit of rain last night, but looks like we'll have some nice sunshine this afternoon. Nice. And they just keep on coming. Wow, look at that fella. Next up, just a short walk down the road from Scout Grove, is Boy Scout Tree Trail. At the end is Fern Falls. Fern Falls. Fuck yeah. Let's go see what this is all about. Pretty nice hike so far. Basically just slaloming through these old huge trees, beautiful greens from ferns, a couple different varieties. A little bit of elevation gain, but nothing too terrible. It's actually nice to have some rollers from time to time. Ooh, I can hear the falls. Oh, Bird Falls! So just down the road from the Elk Prairie Campground is Big Tree. I wonder what it is. But really short walk along a really pretty grove. And it looks a little bit like this. Yeah, that is a pretty big tree. Wow. Wow, look at that. And then just down the road from Big Tree is Corkscrew Tree. Look at that fella. Wow, looks like 2, 3, 4 trees fused together over the years and over the centuries. Wow, that is super interesting. Look at that. Corkscrew tree. Well, the tough part about camping in November is that it's dark. It is about 6 o'clock and it is pitch black, but I still need to cook some dinner. What sounds good to me tonight is I had a whole bunch of bread last night. Had some other snacks this afternoon, so I don't need a whole pasta or couscous or bread situation tonight, but I don't really have a recipe for this one, but I like to call it Italian mishmash. So what we've got are canned artichoke hearts, helpful to bring along car camping. We've got Italian sausage, baby tomatoes, fresh zucchini, and a few spices that I've got here. So I've got garlic powder, Italian seasoning, some salt, and a nice little bit of chili flake. So I'm gonna put all of these together pretty much at the same time and throw it in with a little bit of oil. And it's gonna turn into a nice, yummy, fresh Italian mishmash. And I'm gonna eat that. It's gonna be nice and warm. It's a little cool, a little damp tonight. So let's get cooking. Turned on my burner, chopped my zucchini, and sausage, and also add just a little bit of oil. And for me tonight, probably around half a container of baby tomatoes. I'll give that nice stir. Looking for those baby tomatoes to start to pop. We are cooking. Go ahead and add a can of artichoke hearts. Go ahead and use that water too. Save a little bit of water there. Give that a nice stir. We've got all of our main items in here. And now it's time to add some seasoning. So we've got some oregano or Italian seasoning. Maybe just a teaspoon or so. Making a larger batch, to go ahead and add more. Garlic powder. You can also use fresh garlic too. Got some nice salt. You can always add more. And a little bit of chili flake. If you don't like spice, don't add it. If you like a lot of spice, add more. Just want to give that a nice stir. It might need a little bit of extra water, but looks like we're doing pretty good with the water from the artichokes and from the tomatoes. So you want to just mix that up, put that cover on it, and maybe cook it for, I don't know, 3, 5, 10 minutes, depending on the size of your batch and your burner. But we'll come back and check on that. So you've been cooking for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 5 minutes. Again, if you have a, ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Steam coming in. If you have a different pot, this may take a little bit longer, but this is what we're looking like. Nice, wet Italian mishmash. Again, great additions to this are some quick cooking couscous, any pasta shape, some garlic bread. Really warm, really hearty meal for your car camp. Also really nice would be some olives, some cheese. You know, go nuts with this. This is your pot, your dinner. Make it your own. Nice. Oh man, nice and steamy, warm. I'm getting excited for this. Really quick, hearty dinner. And shocker, you can even cook this inside. Oh, I know, it's amazing. You can cook this inside, not at a bench at a state park. Oh boy, here we go. But Italian mishmash, one of the great recipes of all time for just a quick, easy Italian dinner that isn't just pasta with red sauce. But give this a try, make this your own. It is really, really yummy. Can't wait for you to try this. But get out there or stay inside and cook this, wherever you want to do. Awesome. Thanks for joining me for dark dinner tonight here in the Redwoods. Check out montyboca.com for other great recipes. other great options. But tomorrow I'm going into the backcountry, so this is pretty nice, pretty luxurious. But get out there, Boca Boca.